Fix what I couldn't see. Eating clean, playing my part. Still something breaking inside my heart. I was doing everything right, and everything kept getting worse. Following every line they drew, still ended up in reverse. Five pills lined up on the sink, one telling me what to think. Said give it time, you'll be okay. But I kept drifting further away. I was doing everything right, and everything kept getting worse. Gave them everything I had, still couldn't break that curse. Then one day I just let it go. Stopped chasing what I didn't know. Took one step, changed one thing, turned my back on everything. This is my why. North Dakota Carnivore changed my life. Kept it simple, stripped it down, turned it all the way around. Lost the weight, cleared my mind, left that old road far behind. What I found was something true, did it myself, and so can you.
And good morning. Man, I love that song, that video. It actually shows my story in 3 minutes and 30 seconds of everything that happened to me in the last, it starts out a long time ago, but the healing that has happened in the last year and a half, 21 months, has been amazing. And where I've been and what's happened to me before that was a lot of different shit. Good morning, John Together Strong. That's who did the video. So I appreciate the hell out of that video. It's so easy just to listen to that. And that's my healing journey. I worked out 6 days a week doing extreme cardio workouts. I ended up having heart surgery after doing all that. Got big again, 5 blood pressure medications. I was at the end of my road when I found the carnivore diet through a TikTok video. Couldn't believe what the guy was talking about, did a lot of research on it, finally jumped in. And within 6 weeks came off of 5 blood pressure medications. It's amazing what happened. 18 months later, I was down 142 pounds. The weight loss is a side effect of this diet. Healing is what this diet does. It puts your body back right. And that's what this video represented. It's amazing. Thanks, John. Rick, good morning. How are you doing today? Nice to see you here. Good morning, Jeff. How are you today? Oh, John again. Saying hello. I remember to put this up this time. Yeah. Good morning, Terry. How are you? That was a hell of a game yesterday. I couldn't believe it. I thought that after the end of the first period, I thought the Sabres were going to be out. I really did. Right? You had no sleep last night. Lost power, and it's just too hot and muggy there overnight, huh? Well, it's not here right now. It's 40 degrees, raining, and 43 is our high temperature today. It's going down to 33 overnight, almost to the freezing mark again. Thought we were getting out of this crap, but it just won't go away. Usually by this time of the year, this is where we no longer have to worry about frost. But coming down to 32 degrees with rain and stuff, still plants are going to freeze. It was 82 last night. Yeah. Huge difference between there and here. We actually turned our heat on again because it was getting too cold in the house. That's never a good thing. Good morning, Bryce Biscuit. I tell you, every time I hear Dustin say Mr. Biscuit, I crack up. I really do. I think it's just funny the way he does it. But good morning, Bryce Biscuit. So yesterday, I was just, after the morning meeting, I wanted something to snack on. My fast over the weekend didn't last. I ended up breaking that and never even came close to doing it over the weekend. I decided to go out and look in the fridge and found some hard-boiled eggs. And I made some carnivore deviled eggs. It's just the egg yolk with sour cream and just a splash of sour cream and about a tablespoon and a half of melted butter. And then with a fajita seasoning mix on there. It's actually clean, doesn't have any sugar. It's just a few different things on it. They were actually really good. I was quite surprised at how well that tasted yesterday. Rick says around here, heat is never needed. Yeah, it is here right now because it's damn cold out again. Jeff said, struggling with some pain recently. I have a pissed off nerve in my lower back due to arthritis. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. There's a lot of people right now that are having issues. Yeah, and I don't know if something has changed recently. But even I'm having some issues with aches and stuff that have come back, and even trying to do fasting to get rid of the inflammation isn't working. So I'm not sure what's going on with all that. Mr. Biscuit. Yep, that is funny. Rick says fasting is something he never wants to do. It's not just starving yourself, Rick. There's a lot of benefits to fasting, especially if you've been metabolically damaged like most of us. You are a special case because you were trying to do something to harm your body, and you actually kept your body from being harmed all those years. Most of us followed the general health advice and did what we were supposed to do and became metabolically damaged. Fasting does something very different for us than what it would do for you. For me, it's actually helped out tremendously. And I can feel the benefits on a lot of it. A lot of it has to do with my belly fat and my extra skin not hanging out and remaining, which is really good because that was big and I don't have all that extra garbage. Yeah. Oh, it's just funny when Dustin does it. I love watching Dustin. Yeah, the Habs did took a beating. You're still not over it. I missed this one here. Yep. The Habs did. They really did take a beating last night. See? Right there. The Sabres embrace the opportunity to return to Buffalo for Game 7. Unbelievable. I didn't think it was going to get to that point. I was pretty sure that after the first period when the Habs were up, I thought it was going to be over. And then, holy crap, they changed out the goalie and LPL. What is his name? Lukanen. He had one hell of a night. It was really good. Good morning, Brian. How are you doing today? It's nice to see you here. Yeah, belly and visceral fat. It makes a huge difference on the visceral fat because I had a lot of visceral fat. So you can see that here in where this picture right here. You can see that belly fat. That this is visceral fat in me. Believe it or not, within just a few millimeters into my skin, you can feel the muscle in my belly, even on this picture here. I can tense up my stomach and you can feel the muscle. And it wasn't very far under there. The majority of that is just a visceral inner muscular fat. Same when you look at the belly, I look like I'm pregnant, and that's a sign of hyperinsulinemia. I just have way too much insulin in my body, and it's just storing all carbohydrates as fat, and it's putting it on the inside. It was not a good thing for me. That was actually pretty disgusting how much visceral fat I did have. Bridesmaid says, yikes, Jeff. You had sarcopenia and discotic neuropathy, 7 herniated disc. Dang. Plus, damn. You had a lot of medical problems, all in remission through the under carnivore. Yeah. I'm not going to try to pronounce those. I'll butcher those. John saying good morning, Brian. Used heat and an ointment, and that helped a little as well. Yeah. It's a lot of different stuff that's going on with your body when you're sick and you're metabolically unhealthy. It really had a lot. A tremendous transformation, brother. Heck yeah, Dan. I've lost a lot of weight. The weight loss was just a side effect, though. You know, you can see how big my belly is in these pictures here. And I was riding that scooter at the state fair because I couldn't walk. 20 minutes of walking and my feet couldn't take it anymore. And my wife, we were in the children's section, and right next to that were the scooters like this. My wife went and ran me a scooter because I really couldn't walk. And I got to ride on scooters throughout the fair. You know, this was just 2 years ago. I actually got this. This is a jacket, also the sleeve zipped on and off. But last month I took this picture. Me in front of the same door. Just 2 years apart. Huge difference, man. It's amazing what this will do for a person. Oh, I feel so much healthier too. It's amazing the difference. I've got some headshots that I have in from messing with people, showing that I'm leaving from work and sending them a picture and stuff. And I was looking at some of those and I'm like, holy cow, was I big? And when I was that big, I didn't notice it. When I was that big, I saw myself as I see myself as I look now. Now I still see myself as that big guy. It's just my mind and my perception of myself has not caught up with what I'm doing. Yeah, the pregnancy is not beautiful when it's visceral. That is true. That baby just never comes out then. It just takes forever. Took a lot more than 9 months, that's for dang sure. Bridesmaid said my arthritis is much improved as well. My knees no longer feel like grinding gravel when I walk. That is really good to hear. So I completely understand that too. I never was diagnosed with any of that stuff. I just dealt with it, and a lot of times it's a lot of pain that you go through just doing simple things every day. Let's see. Hey, Brian, can't see you on the vertical version either. That's why I put it up on the screen so that people can see the two different streams. Try to make it easier. Bridesmaid says my transformation is truly amazing. Such an inspiration. Thank you. And I've got to share it because there's so much that has happened to me. And same with you, Bryce Biscuit, and with Brian and Terry. We've all had so much healing going on. And I feel like if I can come on here on YouTube, on X, and on Rumble, because I'm on all three of them right now streaming this, if one person sees this and decides to give it a try, like when I saw Carnivore Ray talking about his healing on the carnivore diet and what he got through, that's what made me do this. So, somebody stops by for 10, 15 seconds and see me talking about carnivore and see you guys talking about your healing, and it plants that seed in their mind so that they go back and they look at something later and it helps them transform. That's what it's all about. You know, sharing strength, hope, and experience one day at a time. Dan says he loves how disciplined I am. It helps people like me maintain that no nonsense approach that will never go back into the standard American diet. This is non negotiable. It's not. I don't do well on it. I've incorporated a few things here and there, not intentionally, but like, a few weeks ago when my wife and I went out for, what was it? It was my granddaughter's birthday dinner. We had fajitas. Now, the meat I had, what did I have? I had the steak, chicken, chorizo, and shrimp fajita meat. No tortillas, no sides. I didn't have any of that stuff. But it still was cooked with the onion and peppers. And I tried picking out all the peppers and onions I could. I'm pretty sure I ate some of them. But the pain that came from it really wasn't worth it. But it took a couple of days for me to feel it, which is good because, when I first started this here, if I had something wrong like that, I felt it the next day. But now it's taking a couple of days for it to happen. I don't like the way it feels when I don't eat right. I've even had like pork steaks and the ribs and the pulled pork. The ones I've had recently haven't tasted that good to me because it doesn't have the right fat, and my body's just not wanting that anymore. It wants more of the ruminant fat, and so time to stick to that for a while. Yes, it is a crazy difference. You can do the same photo. Yeah. It's huge what happens when you stick to this way of eating. Like I said, I did this here for my blood pressure, and I have stuck with it for my blood pressure and for the health benefits that I've had. And a lot of that has come, a lot of the extra stuff that has come with it is the weight loss. And I'm happy with that. Just getting off the blood pressure medications and the amount of pain that my body was in daily and what I am now is just a huge difference. Yeah, your mood's been horrible the last couple of days. Pain is kicking me in the backside. Yeah, and I'm not sure what the deal is with it. I don't know. I'm gonna go back into more of a strict, probably closer to a Lions diet for maybe this week and see what goes on with that, because my body's just not happy with something that's going on, and I need to fix it. You didn't leave your house for over a year for fear of the stairs. Now I can navigate without holding the rail, and I even travel to church. That's amazing. A lot of people get stuck in houses. A lot of people get stuck in their rooms, and it's sad because it can be healed. It's just people don't know about it. Our medical system isn't about healing people anymore. It's about treating the illness with a medication and hiding the symptoms so that you don't notice the symptoms. They're still there. You're still doing damage to your body, but it's terrible. Yeah. John's got some really good videos on his channel. I'd highly recommend anybody go to John's channel, check out his videos. The video I play at the beginning of my stream came from John, so it's actually really cool. I really enjoy it. Good morning, Caroline Carnivore. How are you today? It's nice to see you here. It's a beautiful rainy Sunday morning here in North Dakota, and cold. My phone right now is saying it's only 39 degrees now. Yay. Hey, Jerry, good morning. Tune in while doing your weekly meal prep. That's awesome. I should actually do meal prep. It's my biggest thing I do for meal prep is I take my steaks out, let them thaw out, and then they can sit in the fridge in the vacuum sealed bag the rest of the week if I need to. Bryce, we're sorry to hear that, saying prayers. Pain causes so much harm to our bodies and minds. Lean on your support circles to navigate and ask for help when you can. That's what we're here for, and that's a lot of what these meetings do is they help people just because they have other people to talk to. So I love these chats because so much gets said in here and gets done in the chat. It helps people. Uncle Charlie, good morning. Uncle Charlie says I cut out all of my butter. I'm starting to drop weight again. That's good. It's amazing that just that little bit of butter that you would put into stuff can cause you not to lose weight. Jeff says going to try to make non-resistant starch fried potatoes and see how you do it. I hope it works out for you. Is that by soaking them and getting the starch to come out? How are you going to end up doing that, Jeff? Just curious. Bryce says I never felt the need to increase butter. It was a condiment during my sad days and still use it that way now. A lot of people do. I actually like butter, and I think at times it helps for me just to get rid of the food noise. I'd rather have a tablespoon of butter than cheese, because cheese is so addicting to me. I'd eat a whole lot of cheese if it let me. Everybody's saying good morning. The health system is set up just to manage your illness, not fix it, and milk you of your money. And I agree 100% with that. It is a terrible thing that's going on with those right now. Brisby says my physical health was indeed bad. Not my mental health was much, but my mental health was much worse. I'm mostly healed today, fine-tuning the healing this year. And you've come on a long way from what you have shared before with your mental health and with your actual physical health too. You've had some tremendous healing. It's cold here, time to roll the meatballs. I was talking with my wife about that about 2 weeks ago, about meal prepping a bunch of meatballs, making different flavors and different seasonings in them. And we didn't do it, but should have. You need to figure out why I needed to use reading glasses now and sensitive to white light. I think it's the computer time that you have. Yeah, that has a lot to do with it, John. It's like all my computers, I have everything set to dark mode. If I don't have it on dark mode, my eyes are really sensitive to it. But what my eyes aren't sensitive to right now is the natural sunlight. I can go outside now without sunglasses and it doesn't bother me. I don't have issues with the natural sunlight anymore. And I used to have to wear dark glasses outside. And I'm good now. It's weird. But that's one of the reasons why all my screens everywhere are on dark mode all the time. Chilling and reheating them. Okay. So you cook them, chill them, and then reheat them, kind of like what they do with rice. Let's see that. What the? Just getting on the walking pad, still listening. I can listen on a walking pad. I can't read comments and do anything like that when I'm doing the walking pad. I will fall off. I have fallen off. It's not fun. Bryce Wood said, I've seen so much conflicting info on resistance starch. I was never able to see a difference in fasting with my CGM. I know there is a science behind them, though. There is a science behind them. And for some people, I think it has to do with your metabolic health to begin with, rice biscuit. Some people just won't ever be able to use that because their body is not metabolically healthy. And when it does get to the point where they are healthy, it still treats those things like starches as the full carbohydrate that it is, and your body doesn't like it. For people who are younger, who catch this and are able to heal, it can be a much bigger difference in their life. For people like me, I didn't find this way of eating until I was in my late 50s. I'm 59 now. I found this at 57. I'm not going to be able to do that kind of stuff. I know I'm not going to, because my body is not happy when I have carbohydrates. Well, my body's not happy when I have plant material. I do listen to Dr. Kiltz, and I understand completely what he's saying about everything has carbohydrates in it, even meats. The plant material, my body doesn't like. Brad Biss says, I was federally disabled in 2019 last week. I started an enrollment process at my local college to enter into a degree program. Awesome. That is really good to hear, Brian Biscuit. Brian says, I've been on the computer a lot lately and my eyes have been hurting too. Yeah. Are you using the white screen still, or do you have anything turned to the dark mode? Because I know there are certain things that on my computers that even though everything is set to a dark mode, there are certain apps or websites I have to use that don't support it, and being on those does hurt my eyes. John says autophagy, the body eating itself in a good way. It's a spring cleanup for your cells, recycling junk and rebuilding from the inside out. Yep, that it is. And that's one of the reasons why I fast, is for the autophagy. Brisby says, I think you're on the truth of the matter. Overall metabolic health and even history of the damage will limit how you tolerate carbs, even after much healing. Right. And, I damaged my body for how many years? I was in school in 1977 when the food pyramid came out, and it changed everything that we were eating at that point. So for the last 50 years, 49 years, we've been taught wrong as far as the food pyramid, because that was an advertising campaign that got put out there as a way to eat and as the truth, because the government put it out. It's BS. It should have never been put out there. But that's what we were taught. John says, autophagy, your cells tossing out busted mitochondria. It's a focused cleanup crew, recycling weak power plants so your body runs stronger and cleaner. Absolutely. And the two work together to heal your body. And it's part of the fasting protocols that help your body. And a lot of people get a lot of good. Your body does so much better when you can clean up stuff. Now, if you're metabolically healthy and you aren't eating all this processed garbage, do you have that much autophagy and mitophagy that your body needs to do? Probably not. And your body can handle doing this here much better without having to do the extended fasting like I've been doing. Maybe just doing the intermittent fasting. Even some people with their nighttime fast, whether people believe it or not or even think about it, if you go from 6 o'clock at night until 8 o'clock in the morning, that's a 14-hour fast. You are fasting. Your body is not consuming food. So you are fasting. For a lot of people, that might be enough, as long as you are healthy and your body is not damaged because of all the crap that we've been doing to it. My dogs are going nuts. I don't know who's out there. It's probably somebody else walking on the sidewalk with their dogs, maybe even across the street. They think they have to let everybody know that they're there. Brisby says, I bought Amazon blue blockers for $10. Use them after sunset. Yeah, it cuts out that light spectrum so that you can sleep better, is what it's supposed to do, right? And your mind is supposed to not be as active. Yeah, Brian says he needs to try that and find glasses that supposed to help. Yeah, Brian, good job going back to school, Brian's biscuit. Yeah, Rick, I'm a little bit older than you, but yeah, you remember the food pyramid when that came out. And it was not, that's what we were taught in school. They came out with the food pyramid, they brought it out to school, they showed everybody, and that's what we got told was what we're supposed to be doing. And it was all a bunch of BS. Gotta have my bean broth, sorry. It's actually starting to get cold already. Bridesmaid says, worth a shot. My career was in IT, staring at screens. It affected my eye health, yeah. And see, that's like right now, I can read everything on my screen without these glasses. These glasses are just for reading, but everything in the distance is gotten really clear. These aren't prescription glasses per se. These are just readers. My prescription glasses, I haven't been wearing them for months because the prescription has changed, and I just don't feel like going back to the eye doctor and having to get new glasses again because they're so expensive. And these are the 1.25, and I can read all my screens just sitting here like this without a problem. Like my laptop is a little fuzzy. It's further away, a little bit smaller font. But the screen over here, I can actually read. 3 years later, Brian, I got 3 years done back then and left early to chase money. Yeah. And so a lot of people do is they chase money. And I went to college. It took me 2 years to get 1 year of college. I got kicked out of my first college because I missed too many days of school. They had a dumb policy that if you missed 4 days worth of classes, you had to go in front of the dean. And they were going to put me on academic probation because I had missed more than 4 days of school. I'm sorry, man. At 18, 19 years old, when it's 25 to 30 below zero, and you got to walk halfway across campus to get to your first class, I'm staying in bed. I'm not going out there. I was one of a handful of people that did not have bronchitis or pneumonia in my dorm. There's only a few of us that didn't. And yeah, I didn't like it. So I ended up going back to a different school, but it took me 2 years to get 1 year of college in. Good morning, Angie. How are you? Angie says, hi all. Fasting gives your gut time to heal. I have definitely learned that, and I think a leaky gut helps create a fatty liver. I think all our seed oils that we eat too, and all the carbohydrates really create that fatty liver. The purpose of the insulin is to store the carbohydrates as fat so your body can use it for energy later. And if you're getting fat along with it, it's going to take the natural fat first to use while the insulin is being, while the insulin is doing its job and changing the carbohydrates to the fat. Rick says, the food pyramid is why I created my heart attack diet, right? Because that's what I told you it would do. Brian says, I know some of it's my mood, but I've been annoyed with a lot of these people online letting me know they are in the have group, and I'm in the have not, just grumpy. Yeah. I don't know, Brian, I think you are in the have group. You have your health. You have a better understanding of what's going on with your body and with your health than most people do. Bryce says, yeah, blue blockers, glycine, melatonin, part of the evening sleep regimen. I'm doing a sleep study in July to evaluate my sleep apnea, possibly get a CPAP. So my wife used to tell me I had issues with that, with sleep apnea. I'd stop breathing at night all the time. And since within the first week of going carnivore, she says I no longer do that. And like right now when the pollen is high out here, she says I'm snoring once in a while now, but it's only seems to happen when the pollen is high outside or the dust and dander. Helix, good morning. How are you doing today? It's nice to see you. John says I'm using blue blockers and have my blue light filtered on the computer on, but still have the problems. Yeah, the computers are really rough on people. You can't see John. That's because John is on a different stream than you are. You're on the vertical and he's on the regular stream. So I put the comments on the screen up there too, so that people can see that the two different streams together. Bryce says, I'm in the not have group, Brian. Always here to talk and support. No income since 2019. I've learned to value what's truly important, though, and that's a blessing, right? But you do have the knowledge. You have what it takes to continue doing what you're doing. Now you see John on mobile. Switched over. I see. Man, Mr. Biscuit. Yeah, Helix just switched over to the computer version, the other format. Right? Yeah, move to the mobile. You gotta look at that icon and see which one you're on. A lot of people don't do that. I've learned to do that because every time I try to go on to lives, like the first one that pops up is generally the mobile one. And I click on the first one that pops up and I'm always in the wrong one. So I started going to the channel, looking at it and seeing which one I'm on. I got to do the right one. Otherwise I get confused. I personally don't like that mobile version of it, but so many people do. Helix is only allowing 2 hours of YouTube time, 2 hours of separate app time now. Need to clear my head. So you're only streaming and being on YouTube for 2 hours at a time now, or 2 hours a day, just to clear out the noise and stuff. I can understand that. Yeah, you can still see both chats. It's easier this way with it on the screen. Brian says, yes, it is basically, I just need to be reminded of that. This live helps. The lives and the people in the chat are a tremendous benefit to everybody, and that's what so much of this is about. Knowledge, health, community, and family, and the Lord to guide me. You want for nothing. And that's amazing. Yeah, 2 hours a day for Helix. That's good. And a lot of people need that. There are some people that still need that extra time to learn and need the support. That's this meeting on the weekend. That's why I started. Because on the weekends, there wasn't much when I first started doing this. And I needed it. And one of the ways that I'm getting support is by doing this here and talking with all of y'all, because it helps me out to do it. Yeah, Brian says 100%, right? Right. It says we need to give ourselves grace at times, Brian, and sometimes more time to heal. We all struggle with this at times, and we get it, and we're here for you, and we are. You know, we're all struggling at times, and we all need to take the time to reflect on what is going on. I've been having that trouble here in the last couple of months where I'm trying to lose weight. I'm trying to get back down to my lower weights, but my body seems to be set at being at about 220 pounds. And there's not a whole lot I can do about it. Doing a fast last week, alternate day fasting and sardine fasting in between. And my body weight at the start of the week and my body weight at the end of the week didn't change at all. It's the same weight. I lost weight through the week and I gained it back and everything, but everything stayed the same. Overall, I didn't lose any weight. And I don't know if it's because I'm not having the right type of fat for my body. I don't know if I'm having too much, too little. I'm not sure yet. I'm going to have to do some N of 1 experimenting and some tracking to find out why and what's going on. Helix says, have stayed at the camper for 2 days. This is the second day trying to write and get the bones written about the book I want to write about the carnivore journey you have been on. Awesome. Now you're going to write a book about your carnivore journey. That's awesome. I could never do something like that. That's just not me. Well, again, I didn't think I'd be able to do a YouTube live or a YouTube channel at all because of the way I used to be. Speaking of weight, you went to the fermented side and doing fish and beef fat. You feel so much better in the last 2.5 pounds. That's amazing. I have not tried anything with fermentation. I do like kimchi though. Well, I know I've had sauerkraut, store-bought sauerkraut that is, and that doesn't agree with me. Carolina Carnivore, good morning. Have I tried resistance training? I have never done any like real resistance training. I've got a weight bench sitting right over here in my office, and I've got all the weights I need. I've never really done any resistant training. I took a nice long walk yesterday. My wife met my daughter and granddaughters at McDonald's. It's 2 miles away. And after I did my live yesterday, I walked up to McDonald's, 2 miles, hung out with them for a few minutes, and then I did my 2-mile walk back. So, I walked 4 miles yesterday just because I could. Actually, I enjoyed it too. It was a nice long walk. He looks at it. I love steak. Don't get me wrong, but I sometimes can't have it cooked, which bugs me. You try to eat the steak raw? He looks. I know. I've actually got a picture here. Where is it at? This one. This steak here. This steak was just thrown on a ripping hot cast iron for a few minutes. It's mostly rare. It's like 2 minutes on each side is really all this was. And then I let it cool, cut it up, sliced it, threw it back into a container and refrigerated it. And then I had that at work the next day. Eating it like this is so much. It's easy to eat the fat and the steak itself stays really tender. It's really different from eating it when it's completely cooked like that. This steak just tastes different and hits a lot different too. It's actually, I like that way. And just because the scale doesn't move, that doesn't mean that the body isn't working for you. That is true. And I do know my body is I still have a lot of healing to do. It's just as healing you in a different way, and weight loss will happen later. You're sure of that? Yeah, I am too. I know it will, but I want to see the weight loss too. Because even though I've gained average like 15 pounds from the first week of February, my size 32 pants still fit well. They're not tight on me. They don't, I'm not gaining weight like that. I'm not getting bigger on the outside. So my body's still, repurposing the fat to do other things and putting it in other places. My belly is actually smaller now than it was in February. So I know it's working. I just would like to see some more of that come off on the scale just to make me feel better. But Brian says, just let the stress and pain get over on me. Yep. You are very welcome. You have to remember to let go of the negative and hold on to the positive. Correct. The negative crap just needs to pass through, in one ear, out the other. You know what's going on. You got a community here. Everybody is so helpful, and we're a good sounding board, man. Use us for that. Yeah, it's a very good steak. I really enjoy that one. You don't even sear it. It was a sweetie snack for me. Just raw, but that was a beautiful looking. Yeah, that was actually, I like that steak. It was just a quick sear. I haven't been able to do raw steaks. Just doesn't appeal to me. It's got to have a little bit of a sear to it so that it sets up some like that. That way it's easier to eat for me. Caroline Carnivore says, training will never replace diet, but I just encourage everyone to get stronger while eating better. Yeah. The trophy is real, and longevity and leg strength go hand in hand. That's kind of why I do like to go out and walk too, is just to help with that to a point. Strength training has never been something I've done. I've never done that, and it just doesn't appeal to me. I don't know why. All right, John, have a good one. Thank you for the song, and I appreciate everything that you're doing for our community. Helix says, I haven't gained weight. It was just a stall since August of 2025. Yeah, and that's having those stalls. Maybe it's not a stall. Maybe it's just a longer period of healing. That's what Angie was talking about. It's a longer period of healing that your body's going through. I do have a weighted vest, and I have added that to my walks. My vest goes up to 40 pounds. I have 20 pounds in the vest, and I do throw that on when I do my walks. So, and depending upon the weather, it's supposed to be raining on and off here today. I do want to go out for a walk today, and I'll throw that on and take a walk. Look up how much you would weigh on the moon. It'll make me feel better. Really? I've never thought of that. Let me ask Roke. So I'm asking Roke, if I weigh 220 pounds on Earth, what would I weigh on the moon? 36.7 pounds on the moon. You take your weight and divide it by 6. That is pretty cool. I like that. Thanks, Angie. That does make me feel better. I'd weigh 36 pounds if I was an astronaut and I was on the moon. That is amazing. You got rid of coffee and replace it with filtered coffee since meat stock. It's been a game changer. Well, I'm glad you found something that worked for you. I got rid of coffee once, and the only difference I've noticed so far with drinking coffee without drinking coffee is my tinnitus is here, but a lot of times it's just you just reminded me I gotta refresh my coffee. Yeah, Valhalla Java. That's not what I'm drinking, though. I can't do the Valhalla Java because that stuff is way too strong. That's the Death Wish coffee. That's 3x caffeine. I can't do that anymore. That's just too much caffeine for me. I mean, just drinking the amount of coffee I'm drinking right now is at my limit for the caffeine. Yeah, thank you very much. That does make me feel better. And I think you made Brian feel better too. 43 pounds on the moon. It's amazing, isn't it? That's really cool. But if anybody wants to know the easiest way to do this, I mean, look at this. This is the beef, butter, bacon, egg diet right there. All three, or all those are in here. There's beef in here. There's butter, bacon, the eggs. And actually, there's bacon fat in here too because I cook the eggs in bacon fat. But this is the easiest way to lose weight. It's the easiest way to heal your body. My body was healed eating this more days than not. Chopping up the bacon at sometimes not. Once in a while, eating a steak. Having a steak like that, absolutely delicious. Bacon and eggs. You know, there's nothing wrong with bacon and eggs. These are superfoods right here. Your basic bacon has the 80-20 fat protein mixture. Your eggs are a superfood. They're a living. A baby chicken is supposed to be made out of that. Everything in there is actually healthy for your body. Having steak and shrimp, nothing wrong with that. Steak bites and salmon. These are just health foods that will take you from eating that, will take you from looking like this right here to this. That's me, 2 years apart. This was in May of 2024, a few months before I started my carnivore diet. This was in March of 2026. Actually, March 28th. May 26th, 2024. March 28th of 2026. Huge difference. It's a big difference, and it's so easy to do. And I actually never did this diet to lose weight. I did this diet to heal and to get off my blood pressure medications. Not even to get off my blood pressure medications, to see if I could have an effect on them so I didn't have to take 5 blood pressure meds. And in the first 6 weeks, I came off of all 5 of those with my doctor's help. My doctor wasn't happy I was doing a carnivore diet because that's dangerous, and you know the arguments that doctors have about it. Yeah, you got to keep moving there. Death Wish coffee gives me no negative signal, but I limit it to alleviate my daughter's concerns. The Death Wish coffee, the Valhalla Java, I really like that one. That was because they have different kinds of Death Wish coffee, but the Valhalla Java was my favorite. I remember when I was working night shift and I'd make a pot at midnight, and one of our guys had the last cup. It was like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I warned him. I said, dude, you don't drink coffee very often. You should be drinking that. He's like, oh, I'll be fine. He came in to work the next night and said, what was in that coffee? I'm like, it's just coffee. It just has a little more caffeine. He's like, I haven't been to sleep yet. He had at 3 o'clock in the morning, he couldn't go to sleep all night. Or when he got off work, he couldn't go back to sleep. So, yeah, it has effects on different people if you're not used to it. Yeah, you're good with coffee. Today is Sunday. It's the only day I treat myself to heavy cream in it. That's good. I normally don't have heavy cream. I do it once in a while. Yesterday and this morning, I actually put a tablespoon of butter in my first cup and a dash of cinnamon in it just to get extra fat, and then cinnamon for a treat for flavor. Andy says, I cut out eggs because you get a horrible rash on your face and neck. I also get bloated and have all the yucky that comes along with that. Replacing eggs with tuna, that's not a bad idea. Because there are histamines in eggs, and some people do have issues with that. I wonder if that's one of my wife's issues that she's having. That could be. Got to get me doing some push-ups with them arms. I actually had surgery on my shoulder, and doing regular push-ups is still very painful for me. I used to do push-ups. So when I was in the military, I had to. Back in December of 1999, walking through a grocery store, pushing a cart, I stopped walking. My feet slipped underneath me, caught under the cart, slingshotted me to the floor. And my shoulder, I landed on my shoulder. I tore cartilage, chipped a bone, and did some other damage in there. 2 years later, I ended up having surgery on it. And yeah, I can lift a gallon of milk with it now, but it's still, I've never been able to go back to like doing push-ups or anything like that. I used to do push-ups. I can do them in different positions, but you know, the regular push-up position with feet on the floor and stuff, my body doesn't like it that way. I can't do it with that shoulder anymore. Terry says her mom's getting fussy. Thanks. Have a good rest of the day. All right. Have a good one. Thank you for stopping in. Appreciate it. Just a drizzle of cream, less than a teaspoon or tablespoon now. That's good. Yep. See you later, Terry. I was in the Army. Cool. See, right there. United States Army. This will defend the United States military police. I was a 95 Bravo from 1986 to 1995. And other than my basic training, I spent my whole time, well, I did some other training too, but I spent my whole time in Europe. Bryce to use half and half in the coffee. Much cleaner than cream by me and only one extra carb. I'm still able to stay under 10 grams total a day, which has been working. That's good for you. If that's what works, and everybody has their own path that they have to find out what works for them. Some people can have that heavy cream and it works for them. Some people can't. Angie says, I honestly feel so much better since I stopped eating eggs and the scale started to move downward again. Use the wall for push-ups. Yeah, I've done that before, and I've done different kind of inclines too. And I've got a pull-up bar, and I can hang on that, and that seems to help out with the muscles. You say, "Hua." So, were you a Marine, Carolina Carnivore, or were you in the Army also? And can we all agree that we give the Air Force and Navy crap? And Space Force, because, you know, it's space. Absolutely. I wouldn't change my service for anything. Your hub is a Marine veteran. That's amazing. There are so many of us out there, and I was actually, Jerry was in here earlier. I was on Jerry's yesterday when they had their live. That was what I was listening to when I was walking. And George Goodenough was talking about the Carnivore Soldier. I found him like the month that he stopped posting on YouTube is when I found him. And he was military. He would do stuff for veterans and stuff like that, and then he disappeared. But he's apparently doing all right. George is friends with him. Wish he'd come back. There's a lot of veterans out there that need this kind of stuff because it helps so much. Brian says, most of my friends were in the Marines, but I had one that was in the Army, and he was ordnance disposal and travel around the country in the world with the presidential candidates in 1988. The EOD has got, there's some strange people in EOD, I can tell you that. They're different. That's a different mindset, wanting to go blow stuff up. Terry says the only solution is to get in the car. So back to listening. Awesome. Army? All right. Well, hey, thank you for serving also. I appreciate it. Bridesmaid says I'm addicted to carbs, cannot moderate, and will overconsume. I don't have that problem with dairy. Many do though. Yeah, a lot of people do. And cheese for me is one of those things that I can get in trouble with cheese. The heavy cream, I make Kiltz ice cream every now and then for my wife and I, and we do pretty good on that. He looks at it, I get a biscuit, and I still have my Diet Dr. Pepper, but less of it. And if it helps you overall, then it helps you. It's just not that daily one anymore. And that's what makes the difference too, is if you can cut it out and go without it for quite a while, and then have it once in a while as a treat, there's nothing wrong with that. Mm. Yeah, he is different and he's blowing stuff up. Yes, and that's what a lot of people are in the EOD. When I was active, we had a new guy come into my unit, and he changed his MOS. He was EOD, and then he switched MOS and he came to our unit, and he was just a little bit different than everybody else. It's different mindset. Okay, wait, what's that? Ivy Sardine says not to mix your dairies? Really? Not to mix your dairy as in butter, heavy cream, sour cream, cheese? Not to mix those for you? Yeah. You can really overeat the cheese. No, I can do that too. That's so bad. So it's just cream for you? That's good. Bridesmaid says, that's awesome. Helix diet sodas are valid if they support your healing. My daughter drinks a lot of regular Dr. Pepper. I talk to her as I can about it. Yeah, and if you can get them to switch over, that's amazing. Some people can't handle that diet taste. My wife has a Diet Coke or a Diet Pepsi every once in a while, or a Coke Zero. Jerry says, I'm still here just doing meal prepping, and sometimes I can't get out. Yeah, I understand that because I've done that too. I've been out there cooking and stuff while I'm listening, like Sunday afternoons when Carnivore Quest is doing their live. I might be doing other stuff in the evening at that time when they're doing it, and I can't always react. So I do listen to them though. Caroline Carnivore says, I don't try all those carnivore recipes for desserts as I feel it could lead to failing eventually, so I don't risk it. Yeah, and then some of the desserts, even the actual meals themselves, some of them can have issues. The Kiltz ice cream, it's just a heavy cream and one egg, and we put cinnamon in it. I don't put the sugar in it all the time. And when we do use a sugar, it's the allulose. But most of the time, it's just the heavy whipping cream and egg beaten up, and then I'll use vanilla or cinnamon. I think we did one time where we mixed salty, their orange cream or whatever it was that we mixed into it once. And that actually was pretty good too. It gave a pretty good flavor. But It's just the heavy whipping cream and an egg that we use for most of it. Brian says, I wish I could have been there. I would have been with him. Brian says, I failed on keto, Carolina, for that exact reason. It supported my addiction, right? All I need to have too many of those, yeah. Yeah, the meals do the same thing. Don't risk it. It's like, but that's how I helped my wife get onto more of a stricter carnivore diet. When I first started doing the carnivore diet, I just jumped in and I went straight carnivore diet. My wife said she would never do it, but at that time she started wearing a CGM on her arm so she could see what foods were affecting her and causing her blood sugars to spike. And she was getting really frustrated. And that was about the same time that Courtney Luna's cookbook came out. So I bought Courtney Luna's cookbook so she could see that. I've actually bought 2 of them now. And I also bought Kerry Kelly's cookbook. I know him from X. And then I have it's Common Sense Lab by Dr. Barry. And Jenny Minich's cookbook too. So I have the cookbooks, and when Chris Cooking Nashville's book comes out, I'm going to buy that too. But just having those recipes available for my wife to try helped her because she could see that eating this way and using those recipes, her blood glucose wouldn't go up as much, and then she could transition easier using those. So they help for people like my wife who want that variety to be able to transition into this diet. And then if they're using a CGM, they can see what the difference is. And eventually she just likes beef, butter, bacon, and eggs most of the time now. Heavy cream leads to danger. You push it with the iced coffee. Yeah, that's true. It can for some. You've had the weight loss surgery, so that does make it harder on you. Brasby says all heavy cream by me has carrot gum, gar gum, locust bean gum, all that garbage stuff in it, so you don't risk it. Yeah, I can't wait here. June 1st, our farmer's market starts again, and that's only a few blocks from the house. I can walk to the farmer's market, walk around the park that it's in, and come back, and it's like a 3.5 mile walk for me. So I can go there, I can get my raw milk, and I can get my raw cream that doesn't have any of that garbage in it, and it makes so much better ice cream. It really is good. You get the Courtney Luna cookbook signed. So satisfying. That'd be pretty cool. She's been traveling around in her motorhome or whatever that is that she's got now. That's actually pretty cool. Watching her and her husband go around. They met up with Carnivore Ray and did some videos with him and his fiance. Carolina says, understand we all have different mindsets and need to adjust differently. Myself, it was all cold turkey just because I couldn't moderate, all or nothing. And that's what I did. When I started my carnivore journey here, I jumped in head first. I cut everything out. Actually, the day I did it, I called my wife and at lunchtime and asked her to go to McDonald's and pick me up 4 quarter-pound beef patties, no buns, no nothing, just the meat, and bring it to me for lunch. And that's how I started my diet. And I went strict carnivore, beef, butter, bacon, and eggs right there. I didn't have any issues. That's my mindset, you know. Let's see. On my list is Anita and Chris's cookbooks to buy. Yep. The Ketogenic Woman and Chris Cooking Nashville. Hey, good morning, Larry. Yeah, the audio was banging. Yeah, you're just in time. Well, yeah, guys, it's been an hour and 15 minutes. Still sitting in here blabbing, right? So how's it going for you guys this morning? Helix says they made a few cute shirt and reels. Who's that, Helix? Bradley says, that's right. We have a farmer's market here now in Staten Island. Going to have to plan a road trip. There are places that sell raw, otherwise not available in stores. And that's what I've had to do is our state actually changed the law last year, and they can sell them in stores, but there's no store that's selling it. So, Ragged is saying hello, Larry. Oh, shorts, shirts. I got you. It's just me, right? Carolina, paraphrase, I started on August 1st, 2024. Not a drop of sugar or carbs since. My knowledge dropped 90 pounds the first year. Reverse type 2 diabetes, blood pressure below normal, and to boot, CAC 3 weeks ago, 0%. That is amazing, Carolina Carnivore. Thank you for sharing that. And it looks like you started your carnivore journey right before me, as I started mine at the end of August. So, congratulations. Great result. Brian says they took my gallbladder when I had gastric bypass surgery 23 years ago. The gallbladder would have killed me if they wouldn't have taken, because they wouldn't have known, because I was so heavy, right? What's up, Larry? Second cup of coffee, slept in. So you're waking up at the crack of noon this morning, Larry? There you go. Don't be a zombie. Drink your coffee. Brian says the first 3 or 4 years after the surgery were a roller coaster ride. Ginger pants were a normal thing. Yeah. I get that, because that's what happens, right? Yeah, it's awesome results, isn't it, Larry? So many people have had so much healing with this way of eating. It's amazing. All right. Helix says, all right, gotta go. This was great. Thank you. By the way, I started in May of 2023, but I chose January 4th as my carnivore date so I can celebrate Michaela Peterson's birthday on my carnivore anniversary. That's pretty cool. That's congratulations on sticking with it for so long, Helix. That is amazing. Brian says that's hilarious. I was pulling up my zombie at this exact time. Yep, that's what you got to do. It's amazing. The zombie was actually drawn by Alia's 9-year-old, and she put it on a mug for him. That's pretty cool. Amy, hey, check it out. Rocking my nice. At least they made it to the next round of the playoffs, right? Oh, you just checked the market. Cannot sell raw directly. No stores or pop-ups can. What a shame. It's legal in the state, but farms are too far away. Well, that sucks. I know here in North Dakota for a while, in order for you to get the raw, you had to be like a part owner of the animal, and farmers would let you pay to be a part owner, and then you could charge for the raw milk and stuff like that too. Nice, yeah. Yep. Thanks, Helix. All right, yeah, Alia, she's awesome, and she is. And well, I'm right up at an hour and 20 minutes now. You know, my wife is out here with the grandkids, and I got to get going with them too. So John Together Strong wrote the intro and outro video for this stream. Larry, if you're still here, you haven't seen this yet, check it out.
Fix what I couldn't see. Eating clean, playing my part. Still something breaking inside my heart. I was doing everything right, and everything kept getting worse. Following every line they drew, still ended up in reverse. Five pills lined up on the sink, one telling me what to think. Said give it time, you'll be okay. But I kept drifting further away. I was doing everything right, and everything kept getting worse. Gave them everything I had, still couldn't break that curse. Then one day I just let it go. Stopped chasing what I didn't know. Took one step, changed one thing, turned my back on everything. This is my why. North Dakota carnivore changed my life. Kept it simple, stripped it down, turned it all the way around. Lost the weight, cleared my mind, left that old road far behind. What I found was something true, did it myself, and so can you.